Hello and welcome to another edition of Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, Public Information Director for the Morris County Government. Focus on Morris County is a program that's designed to keep us up to date with the actions being taken by the Morris County Board of Freeholders. And the show is also intended to make us all more aware of the many facets of Morris County government. On this segment of the program, we are going to learn about some educational programs that are offered by the Morris County Park Commission for both students and teachers. And here to tell us about those programs is my guest, Jenny Goss-Myers. Jenny is the Superintendent of Environmental Education with the Morris County Park Commission. Jenny, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Generally speaking, if you were to give us an overview of the educational programs that are offered, what are they designed to do, the whole package?
Well, we work with students from pre-K all the way to university level. And as I mentioned to you previously, the teachers don't get out either. They have to learn something whether they like it or not too. And we are trying to utilize the resources and the lands of the Park Commission, which are extensive, to do some of the teacher's job for them. There was a time when you did field trips when I was a teacher. We'd go someplace and I'd think, why are we here? What does this have to do with our curriculum? That never happens anymore. Every trip that you take has to be a valuable educational experience, and we have really changed our programs to fit that need.
What categories or topic areas do the educational programs generally fall under?
There are three basic categories. There are science-based programs, living history programs, and interdisciplinary programs, which usually will combine science, history, and math.
And you mentioned the extensive facilities that the Park Commission has. What facilities do you use for these programs?
We have 6 main facilities where we do educational programs. There are 3 in the Historic Sites Division. Foster Fields Living Historic Farm. We also have Cooper Mill. And we have Historic Speedwell. Mm-hmm. And then from the horticulture education side, we have the Frelinghuysen Arboretum. And then from environmental education, my field, we have the Pyramid Mountain Natural Historic Area and also the Great Swamp Outdoor Education Center.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the educational programs that are offered for young people. And believe me when I tell you that the ones that we're going to talk about today just scratch the surface. I mean, there are a number of other programs that are offered. But I want to take a look at one that's offered at the Great Swamp Outdoor Education Center in Chatham. And it's also offered at Pyramid Mountain
Correct.
in Montville. It's for pre-K to 2nd grade, and it's called Nature Nuts. What's that about?
Well, we want to turn these kids into little naturalists. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's really kind of an introduction to being in a natural area. And I would say the 2 major facets of what we're trying to do is we're trying to emphasize the wow factor, I like to call it, of nature. You know, just hitting the kids with some facts that make them realize, wow, this is amazing. In New Jersey, I don't have to go to the rainforest. I don't have to go, someplace exotic. And then also how to stay safe in an area that's a natural area, staying on the trails, knowing what poison ivy looks like, knowing how to deal with different kinds of wildlife. So we really base it on whatever's happening during the season. When we go out, our naturalists, we're out there every day, so we know what to look for. And it's really those 2 things, and having a respect for nature, which is the first step towards valuing it and learning about it.
And you take pre-K, like we're
Absolutely.
talking like 3 or 4-year-olds?
Little guys, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they have to be accompanied by a parent, or are they part of a school
They're
group?
usually part of a school group.
Okay.
Sometimes we get mom groups or
Okay.
homeschool groups. So there's going to be a number of adults with them. We find with the pre-K groups often there's a lot of adults. So that's another chance for us to really educate those parents as well, which we love.
The same 2 facilities are also used to offer a program that's called Get Lost for grades 3 to 12.
Don't be fooled. It's exactly the opposite. We're just trying to have a catchy title. It's all about navigation, the history of navigation and how to get from place to place using map and compass. That's what orienteering means. And I think everybody thinks that if you have a compass, well, then you're fine. You're lost in the wilderness. You have a compass, great, but who knows where north will take you or south will take you. So understanding how to use those 2 tools together, to orient a map, to use it to look at your surroundings, to take in the landscape, to take bearings with a compass. So we go from a strictly map activity inside the classroom where they're looking for hidden letters around the classroom that spell a message, to going outside and practicing strictly with the compass, you know, going from bearing to bearing, can you get to the right spot? And then we put it all together in a big treasure hunt where they have to get someplace to a marker using the map, and then from there use the compass to navigate to someplace where they can answer a question. So it's a very comprehensive, that's one of the interdisciplinary offerings.
And it's probably one of the first times, or the first time, that they're actually using a compass.
It's a good chance, unless they've done it in Scouts.
Okay.
And we do that program for Scouts as well, for that reason.
Okay. One of the science programs that is offered, this one at the Frelinghuysen Arboretum in Morris Township, it's a program that's called Plants Around Us. Again, pre-K up to 4th grade. What is this program about?
Well, this is going to compare and contrast living and non-living things. It's an important concept for kids to understand. And surprisingly, you'd be amazed at how high up they don't really understand that. And also comparing and contrasting plants to people, so that you're personalizing it. You can understand, kids can relate to it a little better when it has to do with them. And they're going to be using the grounds, obviously, and all the amazing plant specimens that they have there. And finally learning about how plants help humans to survive.
Under Living History, one of the programs, this one is at the Cooper Gristmill in Chester. It's again for the younger set, pre-K and 1st graders. Miller's Pancake sounds like something that I might enjoy. What are the youngsters?
I think you'd enjoy all of these, Joe. I really think we got to get you out there. But
well, what's the pancake?
Well, it's very cute. It's a really cute program. You might not think going to a mill would be such an exciting thing, but to be able to see flour made from grain all the way to your pancake, which they do get a pancake at the end. Every kid gets a pancake. It's based on Eric Carle's book, Pancakes, Pancakes, and he's the one that did The Very Hungry Caterpillar and a lot of books that kids know. And it's a real sensory experience. They're going to tour the mill, they're going to feel the grain seeds, smell them, they're going to see the water wheel turn and make the machinery work, and they're going to be able to see that finished flour as the machines rumble and tumble. You know, you can feel it, you can hear it. It's a really neat experience. And
I know that there is also a program, I believe, that talks about the history of the mill itself. Is there not?
Well, that's going to be integrated into everything, certainly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly part of all the programs.
Another program at Cooper Gristmill, Simple Machines, for children a little bit older in grades 3 to 5. What is taught in this program?
I love this program because when I was a 3rd grade teacher, Simple Machines was one of the topics that I had to do, and it can be a lot of fun. Simple Machines, there's 6 of them. They're not necessarily what you'd think. Wheel, pulley, lever, inclined plane, wedge, screw. Well, all those things are going to be there. They all help work be done in an easier way. And this is going to use the machines at the mill to demonstrate how these machines make work easier, including the miller will raise a 2,000-pound millstone by himself.
Wow. Okay.
With the help of some Simple Machines.
Okay. When we think of historic Speedwell, those of us who are familiar with it, we think usually of the first public demonstration of the telegraph. But what sometimes gets lost is the steam power that was developed at the historic Speedwell. The dream of steam power in the 19th century is one of the programs that is offered at historic Speedwell for grades 2 all the way up to a senior in high school, to 12. What about this program?
I love the programs at Speedwell because they use a lot of problem solving and higher level thinking skills, which is a big thing in education right now. They're going to go over the history of steam power from the ancient Greeks, you know, up to the present, and also the contribution that was made in the 19th century from Speedwell. They're going to see how a steam engine works, how it powers a machine, and they'll actually have to put together a small engine as part of the program. So it's really interesting.
So these are hands-on programs, I assume? It's not just you go to the Cooper Mill or Historic Speedwell and you sit down and you hear a lecture.
No way. This is not walk and talk. We want people to, kids and teachers, to get their hands in there and really get a feel for what we're doing.
Now, there are also professional development programs that the Park Commission offers. Right. One which I think is particularly timely for the area in which we live is called Wild About Bears. What is this about?
Well, this is brand new, actually. We're going to be the first facility to be teaching teachers about this. Project Wild is an international curriculum that's been around for a long time in environmental education, but this is specifically about bears, specifically about New Jersey bears. There's a video, a DVD component, as well as CD-ROMs that go to the students, interactive hands-on lessons. I mean, this is something that obviously we know is very important. Anybody in really any county in New Jersey, bears can be found in, but Morris County for sure. You need to know how to live peacefully, and being able to teach that to kids. It's something that's on their mind. They want to know. So this is a really great program.
So for the teachers who attend the professional development courses, the idea is then for them to take what they've learned and take it back into the classroom with them.
Exactly.
Now, what about standards or curriculum standards that the state has? Do these programs follow the New Jersey standards?
Science and history standards. We've correlated all our programs with the state standards. You have to. You wouldn't stay alive in the education business right now if you didn't. So, and that's all available in our pre and post trip lesson packets, which we send out. What
about the staff? Who teaches these programs?
Well, these are educators that have, tremendous experience in their fields. I mean, I can speak mostly for my own staff. Absolutely fabulous, enthusiastic, love kids, know how to deal with kids in an outdoor and kind of unstructured setting, which can sometimes make teachers feel a little nervous. They're consummate professionals.
Now, there's a cost, I assume, for the field trips and for the programs, but I would assume it varies from course to course?
No, it actually doesn't.
Okay.
For the most part, other than the Nature Nuts program, which is just an hour, which would be $75. Mostly it's $125 for a class of up to 30 children.
Okay. And if someone wants more information about the programs that we've spoken about, or as I said at the beginning of this segment, there are a lot more that we don't have time to get to. How can they find out more about these educational programs?
The best place to go would be to our website, www.morrisparks.net. And if you go to school programs on there, you're going to see them all listed. You can sort them by grade, by location, by subject, everything you need to know. And it's going to send you to the facility that you want to contact to make a reservation. Or you could contact a facility and get one of our school lesson brochures.
Okay. Jenny Gauls-Myers, I want to thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Now, if you have a question about county government that you would like to have answered, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office. That telephone number, 973-285-6010. You may also visit the county government's website. That's morriscountynj.gov. Once you're there, check out all of the various social media that the county government offers for you. I'm Joe Garifo. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm John Pecoraro, surrogate of Morris County. If a loved one passes away and you need to transfer property to their heirs, you must come to the surrogate's court. This is true even if the deceased did not have a will. This process is known as probate. Now, probate in New Jersey is not overly complicated, and my staff is available to assist you. If you have any questions, please call my office at 973-285-6500 or visit our website at morrissurrogate.com.
Welcome back to Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, and on this segment of the program, we are going to learn about the many services that are provided to Morris County veterans. And here to detail some of those services for us are my guests. First, to my left, is Teresa Davis. Teresa is the Director of the Division on Aging, Disabilities, and Veterans. And seated next to Teresa is Charles Jurgensen. Charles is Morris County Veterans Services Officer. Folks, welcome to the program. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Teresa, I want to start with you. Just, if you would, give us a brief overview of your division and some of the services that it provides.
Okay, as the name implies, it's aging, disabilities, and veterans. We have information and assistance. We have social work staff. We have a nutrition program for people who can come out, as well as the homebound. And we have a very vigorous transportation program.
Talk a little bit about some of the services that are available for folks with disabilities. Are they mainly referral services? Or
we have a lot of information on resources, but they also may be coming out to one of the nutrition sites. And we have about half of our transportation is for people with disabilities who need to get to school or work or medical appointments.
Charles, generally speaking, what would you say is the mission of your office, the Veterans Services Office?
Joe, I would say that our mission is primarily to make the veteran today feel comfortable within the VA system. Our mission is to guide them in the right direction in enrolling into those programs. Teresa mentioned disability. Many of these veterans have disabilities as a result of war injuries, and our mission is to couple with Teresa's division in assisting them in that process also. With the advent of the reservists today involved in these conflicts, we're also involved with making the families feel comfortable with services outside the county and even inside the county as to what they can partake of. So we're there to make them feel comfortable, give them the rights that the programs that they're due.
Do we know how many veterans there are in Morris County, Charles?
Joe, in checking with the Department of Military Affairs down in Trenton, I'd say around 25,000 in Morris County. You're talking larger amounts in Ocean County, Atlantic County, where there are more veterans, but we're about 25,000.
Are these, do they run the gamut in terms of conflicts? I would imagine from maybe World War II up to today.
That is correct. World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and certainly the current conflict, and also reservists, which we have a lot of at this point as a result of the current Gulf conflict.
Yeah. You mentioned making them aware of the services that your office provides and that other offices provides for veterans. What are some of those services? What do you find yourself doing more often than not?
Well, let's take homelessness, for instance. Many veterans today, because of the economy in particular, have come to me with homeless issues. So I've got to provide them with services within the VA, and also services which are offered through family services, through the mental health associates, groups like that, which are outside my purview, but in many cases can take care of folks which are homeless, limited on income. And then certainly within the VA system, we have many services. At Lyons Hospital, we have the domiciliary for folks which are down on their luck. Community Hope also has an office out there, and also other areas within Morris County. HUD-VASH is a program the VA offers for mentally disturbed veterans and offering them apartments within Morris County. So we're able to offer quite a few services to them within our purview and outside our purview.
Yeah. What are some of the other benefits that a veteran who may be coming back from a conflict and who, you know, thank goodness, really does not have serious issues? What are some of the paperwork type issues that you might help a veteran out with?
I'm involved with a lot of paperwork. Mainly with helping them file claims for certain disabilities, which could range anywhere from broken fingers, shrapnel wounds, broken legs, these types of things, and getting them into compensation claims.
Educational benefits?
Educational benefits are also offered to the returning veterans, and we have, as a matter of fact, those programs today are probably the best since World War II. Vietnam conflict did not offer very good GI benefits when it came to education, but certainly they do today.
Now, what about a veteran who has been discharged? They have their discharge papers. What should they do with those papers? Do they keep them at home? Is there a safer place for them?
Safer place would be the county. They can register their DD-214 at the county records office, and I would recommend in almost every case they do that. And as a matter of fact, when they go down there, they can also get a veteran ID card, which will give them certain discounts within Morris County. So we're very pleased with that program also.
Teresa, Morris County participates in a program that's called the Veterans Connection Community Living Program. What is that?
It's a very exciting program that the VA put forward about 2 years ago. We were one of the first counties to come on board. It is for veterans who are at risk of nursing home placement, and giving them support and help in their home that allows them to stay at home and not go into the nursing home. It is also unique in that they can actually hire their neighbor or a grandchild anyone who they have been helping, has been helping them stay at home, they're able to actually put them on a salary, so to speak.
And this is a great benefit, I would assume, for a veteran who is able to stay at home and not go to a facility.
Yes, and for the VA, they have very few slots open in the nursing home facilities, and this is actually more cost effective to be able to provide those services in their home setting.
Charles, while we're talking about healthcare, Morris County actually has a veterans clinic, does it not?
It does.
What are some of the services that are provided at the clinic?
At the clinic, which is in our office at 340 West Hanover Avenue, a VA clinic has a doctor, a primary care physician. They've got a nurse, 2 nurse practitioners, physician's assistant, psychiatrist, and nurses. They provide primary care for the veteran. They also provide psychiatric care in evaluating post-traumatic stress issues. They will refer a veteran to a higher hospital within the VA system, such as Lyons and or East Orange, if it's a more complex medical issue. So they'll come in, they can enroll right there into the process. I assist them, by the way, in doing that. And not all veterans can get into that system, but that's one of the things I've got to assist them in trying to provide the guidelines as to whether they can partake or not. But it's a good system. It's a nice system.
How about participating or going to the clinic? Teresa, is it only for Morris County veterans?
The clinic is actually operated as an outsourcing satellite of Lyons Hospital. So it does serve a wide geographic area. Most of the clinic customers are from Morris or Warren or Sussex, but the vast majority are Morris County.
Another thing, Charles, that your office is involved with is administering a medals program. Morris County freeholders several years ago decided that they wanted to honor veterans by presenting them with the Morris County Distinguished Military Service Medal. Who is eligible, Charles, to receive this medal?
Any veteran who was a former Morris County resident and or current Morris County resident who was in the active military and has been given an honorable discharge is eligible for this particular program. It's been going on, I think, around 10 years, Teresa? Yep. Is that my understanding? I've been with it for the last 7 years, and we've changed it quite a bit since my inception here. We've given out around 8,900 individual medals, ranging from World War II up to the current conflict of the Gulf War. It does not mean that one has to have been in the conflict. They could have served during that war period, and therefore they're still eligible. But what we've done recently in the last 3 or 4 years, because we've scaled it back somewhat, is to provide a smaller group of people. But I've also taken a position, I want to get a biography on each individual, and that biography is read every 2 months at your offices up on the freeholders floor for the public to hear. And so we're able to bring to the public's attention what each individual veteran has done, and the press is there, so it's turned out to be a real nice event.
Yeah. Now, we've really only just scratched the surface here in terms of the services that are provided by the Veteran Services Office, and also by the Division on Aging, Disabilities, and Veterans. But Teresa, your office, and actually the Department of Human Services, I guess, too, puts out this publication. What can you tell us about this?
Well, we consider that really the go-to source for all of our services and our partnership with nonprofit providers throughout the county for aging, disabilities, and for veterans.
And if someone wanted to pick up a copy of this, I guess there are several ways that they can do it. They can call the office.
Yes.
And it is also online. It's available on the county's Scribd network, which is www.scribd.com/Morris County NJ. And we have a lot of county-wide publications that are on there, including this particular services guide. Teresa Davis and Charles Jurgensen, I want to thank you both very much for being with us today. Now, if you have a question about county government, perhaps a service that we did not talk about during this segment, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office at 973-285-6010. You may also visit the county government's website at morriscountynj.gov. And when you're there, again, take advantage of the many social media that Morris County's government uses in terms of, there's Twitter and there's Facebook and Scribd, as we just mentioned. So make sure that you check those out. I'm Joe Garifo. Thank you very much for being with us. Tune in again next week at this time, won't you, for another edition of Focus on Morris County.